All right, let's dive into something seriously delicious today. We're talking tequeños.
Oh, yeah, tequeños.
Those crispy, cheesy Venezuelan snacks. They're called like mozzarella sticks, but honestly, way better. And they're everywhere these days, right? Food trucks, fancy restaurants, you name it.
Absolutely. They've really taken off.
I've got this really cool guide here, all about the best dipping sauces for tequeños. Plus, some interesting articles on how restaurants are using them, and even some twists for different diets.
Oh, cool.
What I find fascinating is how often we just kind of slap any old sauce on the side.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so much more than that. A good sauce can completely transform the flavor.
100%. It's about finding that perfect balance. The crispy texture, the gooey cheese, and then the flavors of the sauce all working together.
Exactly, it's an art form. So this guide starts with the classic Venezuelan sauce, guasacaca. Have you had it before?
Oh, yeah, it's delicious. It's this creamy avocado-based sauce with cilantro and onions.
And a little tanginess from lime juice and vinegar, right?
Yes, that tanginess is key. It cuts through the richness of the cheese, and the cilantro and avocado adds such a refreshing element.
It's like a flavor explosion. And speaking of refreshing, this guide also recommends cilantro mayonnaise.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Right, I love cilantro, and swirling it into creamy mayonnaise just sounds like a match made in heaven.
Plus, cilantro has those digestive benefits, so it's a win-win.
Right. Delicious and good for you. So what else does this guide recommend?
Let's see. Well, there's the classic creamy garlic sauce. You can't go wrong with that.
I love a good garlic sauce.
Correct.
So rich and flavorful.
And you know what's great about this one? It can last up to a week in the fridge. Perfect for meal prepping.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Delicious and practical. What's next?
Okay, get ready for this melted cheese sauce.
Hold on. Melted cheese sauce on cheese-filled tequeños.
I know, right?
It seems like a lot of cheese.
It's definitely for the cheese lovers out there.
That's for sure. It's like taking the cheese pull to a whole new level. Okay, so cheese overload aside, what's our final contender?
Last but not least, we have spicy avocado dip.
Okay, I do love a bit of spice.
Yeah.
What makes this avocado dip special?
Well, besides being incredibly delicious, it's packed with healthy fats and fiber from the avocado. And it's super versatile. The guide suggests using it for everything, not just tequeños.
I love that. So we've covered the classic five, but this guide also has some really interesting alternatives for specific diets. Like, what about vegan options?
They recommend a smoky roasted red pepper hummus. Sounds amazing, right?
Oh, that does sound good. That smoky sweetness with the crispy tequeño, yum.
Yeah.
What about dairy-free options?
They suggest sticking with the classic guasacaca, but with some extra cilantro and a squeeze of lime for freshness.
Ah, smart.
Yeah.
And what about people watching their calorie intake? Any lighter options for them?
They do. The guide mentions a lighter option using low-fat Greek yogurt as a base.
I love that there's something for everyone. This guide really has thought of everything. It even has a whole FAQ section, like how to adjust the thickness of your dips, stuff like that.
It's those little details that can really elevate the experience.
Speaking of elevating the experience, have you noticed how many places are now offering drink pairings with their tequeños?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's like they've become this gourmet snack.
Exactly. And this guide has a whole section on pairing tequeños and dips with different drinks. It's amazing.
Tell me more. What do they recommend? Oh, they've got some really great suggestions.
Like, for real, this guide is impressive. They cover the sauces, the dietary stuff, the pairings. It's amazing how in-depth they go for just one little snack.
Right. It really shows how versatile tequeños are. You can dress them up, dress them down. You can find a flavor for anybody. And like you said, it becomes an art form.
Totally. And like any art form, there's always room for your own take on it. This guide is an amazing place to start, but don't be afraid to play around with it. Find what you like best.
Exactly. That's what cooking is all about, right? So let's get into these pairings. What kind of drinks are we talking about here?
Okay, so for the guasacaca, they recommend something light and refreshing. Think a cold lager or a dry white wine.
Oh, that makes sense. The lightness of the drink really complements those fresh, herby flavors.
Totally. Now, for the creamy garlic sauce, they recommend something a little bolder. An IPA.
A hoppy IPA, that's a good call. The bitterness from the hops would cut through that rich garlic flavor.
Exactly. And then with the cilantro mayonnaise, you want something equally refreshing. They suggest margarita or even a fruit-flavored beer.
Could see that working. The citrus notes with the cilantro would be delicious.
Right. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting. For the melted cheese sauce, get this, they recommend a classic white wine.
Like a Sauvignon Blanc?
Yeah. Something that won't overpower all that cheese.
Makes sense. You don't want to overdo it. All right, what about the spicy avocado dip? What goes with a little heat?
They recommend something light and refreshing again. to kind of balance out the spice. So maybe a Mexican lager or a mojito.
Oh, man. A mojito sounds perfect right
I
now.
know, right? You know, it's
Yeah.
funny. I never thought I'd be putting this much thought into dipping sauces. But this whole conversation has been eye-opening.
I know. It's easy to overlook those little details, but they can really change the whole experience.
They really can. You know, all this talk about pairings and gourmet sauces has me thinking about those articles you mentioned about tequeños in restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like there's a whole other level to this conversation, right? We've been talking about enjoying tequeños at home, but this little snack has serious business potential.
Absolutely. Like you said, we're seeing them everywhere now. They're having a real moment.
And the frozen food market is huge these days.
Uh-huh.
Imagine combining that convenience with these incredible dipping sauces, the pairings. It could be huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone wants things quick and easy these days, but we don't want to sacrifice flavor.
Exactly. And with the right look, the right marketing, gourmet tequeños could be the next big thing.
Oh, totally. Someone could build a whole brand around this.
I know, right? I'm already imagining the packaging. But, you know, as fun as it is to think about the business side of things, for me, it always comes back to just enjoying good food. And this whole deep dive has got me thinking about all kinds of new flavor combinations.
That's the best part. It sparks your creativity.
It totally does. So as we're wrapping up this tequeño adventure, any final thoughts, any last nuggets of wisdom for our listeners?
Well, we've talked about the classic sauces, the variations, even the pairings. But what if we took it even further?
Ooh, I like where you're going with this.
What if we looked beyond Venezuelan cuisine for inspiration? I mean, tequeños are so adaptable. Imagine the possibilities.
Okay, now you have to share. What are you picturing?
Okay, how about this? A bright, herby chimichurri sauce straight from Argentina.
Oh, wow, that would be incredible.
Right, all those fresh herbs and a little tanginess. It'd be perfect with those crispy tequeños.
What else? Give me another one.
All right, how about a spicy peanut sauce with some Southeast Asian inspiration? Sweet, savory, a little heat, amazing.
Oh my gosh, I never would thought of that.
Right. Thinking outside the box, breaking the rules, that's how you discover something really special.
You've blown my mind today. I feel like I've leveled up my tequeño game for sure.
That's what we like to hear. Remember, it's all about finding what you love.
Exactly. So go forth and explore those flavors. And, hey, if you discovered something amazing, let us know. Until next time, happy snacking.